Little test fit here. What do y'all think? We be jamming, baby. Alright guys, so 5 foot will get me over into the window there some on both sides, and about 3.5 will go from floor to ceiling. Alright guys, you know how expensive wood is. So it's not ideal for box building, but for building a wall, $1.50 a sheet. All right, guys, for 12 bucks, I got 8 of these sections. After giving it a whole lot of thought, which I already knew I was probably going to do, I needed to shift this around a little bit to make everything work the way I want it to. And I decided it would be better to prioritize the pressure side as far as fitment, and then I can work in the back side because I won't need to worry about pressure on that side. So that's what we're doing. As for right now, I decided 7 inches, since I've got this stab screwed both sides to these and it's level, I can measure off this base. I decided 7 inches from the bottom to here is a good number right now. So right now I've got to figure out the side-to-side measurements. And after a little thinking, I decided that measuring to the glass will give me the most accurate measurements, because the internal panels in this vehicle are all asymmetric. Let's see if I can get the sucker to scoot over a little bit. I'll have to reposition it front to back when I'm done, but it's heavy. Now the base is not centered onto the box exactly. It is front to back, but not side to side. So measuring from there doesn't do any good. The box is what I'm interested in. Now we're sitting at about 11 1/8. Now we're sitting at 13. I need to go back to about 1 foot. Should have about 12 inches left when we're done on both sides, I think. I don't know. Let's see what we did. That's 12 1/4. That looks good. Now let's check the measurement down here. We're about 6 1/2 and 6 1/4. So we need to move that back forward some without moving it side to side. That's 7 1/4. That's 7. If that's 7, no, it's just shy of 7. That's 7. 7. And 12 3/8. Going down, I'm gonna measure it right there. That's 12 1/2. And that's 12 1/2. All right, that should be sitting square, regardless of what the panels say. That should be squared up. Bob's your uncle. Now, I wanted to leave room for the seats to go up, but be close. I also need to leave a little bit of room in there for the subwoofer to come poking out, and I need to leave a little room in there for the other wood that I'm going to have to use to get this side met up. But I wanted to get as close as possible so you can see how that side of the box and that window are lined up. I wanted that to get past the window. And over here, remember when I said the vehicle is asymmetric? And you can see what I mean. We do the same thing over here. You can see that window is all up in my business. That B-pillar is much thinner than this one is over here. So I'm going to have to work with that one, but at least I've only got to work with one. And this is where we're going to put it. That leaves enough room for the subs and the port and everything to work even when the seat's up. So it's almost exactly where it was before. If you take into consideration the hangover, it's really close. So that should be good. So what we have here is about $15 in hardware. 18, I think it was 18 something. I got these little brackets, and these are self-tapping 1-inch bolt screws. And that's how we're going to do this. All right. Instead of using the drill, I went ahead and grabbed my torque driver. I may end up putting this other battery on there. It's a bigger battery, but we're going to take a stab at it and see what it does. I wasn't sure what I needed exactly, so I got a variety. I think these little short dudes are going to be best back here. That, I don't know. Since I don't have as much surface, maybe I'll use the long ones. That'll allow me to get a screw into both parts of that. I think that might be our best choice. But we're going to make it stay now. It's going to get locked the hell down. Here's the hoping I can get this to go through the carpet and through the metal. Make sure my wire's not in danger. This is the ground. It's all good. This will also allow me to get in my cavity. So that's good. Oh, that worked like a charm. I love good tools. I do love good tools. Excuse me, fellas, I got to step to the side a little bit. Man with a drill and a plan coming through. Running to the hardware store, nothing moved around on me, so I feel like we're good. We'd be jamming. Come here now. Get around there. Ah, it's fun. I got that a little tight. I'm glad I went with 1 inchers. I was thinking about going with 3/4 of an inch. I'm glad I decided to go with a 1 inch because I figured I might be fighting with the material. I don't want it to go through any further than it has to, though. And that seems like a really good amount. I may go ahead and use these for the other things. Bob's your uncle. I decided to use these on this bottom one because it's a self-tapper instead of a drill. It'll drill its own hole and not split. The threads are good enough to do the job. Alright, we added straps. I've already got a toenail screw here. We added the straps to connect these two together. And they are strong. Let's continue. I'm going to screw it into the wood first with one of these bolts to keep it from moving around, and also to self-tap that hole. Now, let's see if we can get her to go in. Man, I love good tools. Did I say that already? Good tools and good equipment. Alright guys, got those brackets in, and I used two smaller brackets underneath, L brackets, to bolt the box to the frame. And we're also putting screws in there, screwing it down to the frame. Good and solid. Now I got to work on this. I've been putting it off, but can't really keep putting it off. It's got to come out. This is a victim of the Great Headway Fire of 2024. I was using it for a ground wire afterwards because the insulation was burned up pretty good, but we're going to be redoing it and repurposing it. Oh, and for those of you out there that are on the Headway bandwagon, let me tell you, there's three types of people that will defend Headway, and that's four types of people. There's four people that'll defend Headway. One is the guy that has Headway in his car. Two is the guy that's selling Headway. Three is the guy that told the first guy to put the Headway in his car. And four is that poor broke bastard, and all he can afford is Headway, and he's straight up about to get some. That's it. What you don't hear is the people that have had bad luck with Headway talking about how Headway sucks. Nobody wants to collide with those four. And I think if you use it improperly, you'll burn the car down. Looks a little better, right? You guys see this spot right here? That's the location of the Headway fire. Headway bank was sitting right here. Melted all the carpet, burned up a bunch of wires. It didn't get to my roof, but it's a miracle it didn't. Anyway, we got this cleared out more, and we're getting on down to the nitty-gritty of getting the power and ground stuff figured out for the distribution center. These three cables right here The two blue ones are power, and this black one is a ground. Now I've got grounds connected from the charger to the frame and chassis. I had one ground run back here. I was tying it to the body and frame, and then picking up another two ground wires off of that. So I was getting, essentially, this was just to help carry the current from the front to back along with the frame and the body. But we're going to do things a little bit differently. I ain't figured out exactly how, but we are. These two right here are going to be handling the charging from up front, but I may be doing something a little different with the ground system. Take a little look here. See what's going on. That's going to slide right on up in there. That's good. Now, positive and negative. So, I'm going to want it over here. Because my ground's going to come under right here, to the side of that. Yeah, and that's going to become the distribution block back here. Alright, we're going to make these grounds. Can't leave them red because that might get confusing. They're going to go from here to here. Positives are going to come in from that side or from underneath on that side. So, we need to make one end of these black. Will that fit? Yeah, really tight, but it will. I think I better shove it on there first. Now this would have been way easier had I done it with the box not in here. But you see, my wife told me she'd help me put the box in. But she also said she wasn't going to do it during the week. And the reason for that is, and I totally agreed with her, she's working 2 jobs. So she's working like, between 12 and 15 hours a day, some crazy shit. You guys do me a favor and down there in the comments, tell me what a worthless piece of crap I am so I can agree with you. Yeah. Now I got to get this sucker in there. Now I got to connect this, push it in there. My power wires are going to go under and come out right here. And then we'll put the battery over here to the side. And we'll connect from the capacitor to the amplifiers. So it'll all make sense in a second. That's a tight fit though. I wanted everything positioned a certain way. I want to be able to see my little lights down here, and I also wanted to be able to see the 12-volt thing to kind of make your brain go, that's the positive side, you know, without any trouble. I'm not sure how easy this is going to be, but I'm pretty sure it's not going to be easy at all. But it is going to work. There we go. Now we got it started. All right. Whew. All right. Now these two guys were my grounds. They're going to be positives. I want to test this out real quick. They're hitting that board. I got to turn them and get them to go underneath that board. Yeah, that's coming out right there, which is perfect. That wire is coming out right there. That's perfect for these guys and my fuses. So now I just got to get that other one pulled in here too. All right. Now they're both ran through there. I just need to connect them and get them positioned. Get the capacitor back where it belongs. I'm using these wires I already had trained to go like this, and I made sure I kept those ends over here so that all this would be easier whenever I went to do it. I'm going to have to pull those wires up. There we go. It's awful scrunchy, but I wanted this to be back behind the surface. Now all I got to do is tighten them up, and the capacitor's in. Guys, what do y'all think? Pretty cool, right? Yeah. Now I got the other ground that I'm gonna pull out of here, and I got stuff to do with it too. But I think this is gonna be nice. By the way, y'all like my GP wrenches?